So a form of print media that constantly gets talked about a lot is magazines, and specifically tabloid magazines, and how they actually are very, very negative towards actual media and everything. As I talked about how yellow journalism in my last video with newspapers, tabloids are one of, if not the worst culprits of yellow journalism. Now, the reason is because, once again, they don't really even care about actually telling good actual news. All they care about is making sure that there are people who are reading their tabloid magazines and just actually making sure that they have these readers and that they're just making the money. That's all they actually care about, is making this money and actually just making sure that their sales are up. Now, this is very negative to tabloids, to just the magazine industry in general, because it makes people believe that these sensationalized and these fabricated stories, Elvis is still alive, Michael Jackson has clones, Walt Disney's head is frozen, all of these things, and it just, they're supposed to be journalists. These magazine writers are supposed to be journalists, and they're just talking about these like sensationalized things that aren't even true at all. And this is just one part of the magazine industry that is bad, but there's another part that's even worse than the fact that they are one of the biggest culprits of yellow journalism and sensationalization, and that is the fact is they don't really write articles at all. It used to be, yes, magazines used to be where you could get good information, good news. Well, not good news per se, but actually it was a good news source to have. But nowadays it's just that a lot of these magazines have switched over from actually telling news to just telling personal interest stories. And yes, those are fun and those are cool to have, but these personal interest stories glamorize, and they kind of make it seem that there's only one real way in America to actually be it. And it causes this whole thing of, it perpetuates this is the right way to be a woman. You have to have an hourglass figure, and you have to have big boobs, big butt, nice teeth, and everything. And then it just makes these other women just actually not feel even good about themselves and feel like they are actually less of a woman, due to the fact that these magazines are just continuing to perpetuate stuff that says a woman has to be this. And the same goes for magazines that are targeted towards men. We see men's like health, and you have to be this jack-ripped bod, or you have to like cars, you have to enjoy fishing and hunting and all this stuff. And so these magazine industries are negatively affecting the culture in two ways. The first way is with all of their yellow journalism and their sensationalization, they're just publicizing of the tabloids. And the other way is the fact that they keep just perpetuating that there are certain standards that men and women have to fit in, and they don't care about their audience at all. And they just keep on doing it. And it's so hard to actually find magazines that are actually truthful and honest and are good. Time Magazine and National Geographic are the only two magazines that I can think of that are actually even slightly remotely actually have good quality content that we can keep reading, and it's not just yellow sensationalized journalism, or worse, perpetuating certain stereotypes that we must maintain.